from where you come from. How do you view the development of the West Coast with development project after development project?
Well, as a Canadian, I'm used to a very large country with not very many people, so I'm used to the wonderful expanse of Mother Nature. When I come to Taiwan, I see a very busy place, a small island with many, many people. And unfortunately, that means that there are going to be conflicts between human beings and nature. And I think part of the challenge that we face, not only in Taiwan, but around the world, is how can we sustain an economy that benefits people, but protects the natural environment. On the west coast of Taiwan, there are a lot of people, a lot of industries, a lot of fishing. This, of course, is important to Taiwan's economy. But Taiwan's economy will suffer if the environment suffers. We know that a healthy environment is very good for the economy. A healthy ocean with vibrant fisheries, good agriculture with plants that are healthy and growing, streams that have clean, fresh water that we can drink. These are all very important to the human economy. And I think this is one of the challenges along the west coast of Taiwan, how to ensure that the human economy prospers, but at the same time the natural environment does not suffer as a result of that economic development.
然后我刚刚讲，对，第二个问题是说国外的保育经验，就是说他们会如何看待这样子，就像刚田委员有讲到说，其实有些台湾人会说啊，就几百只那个肚子都吃不饱了，人都顾不了了，还去顾海豚顾什么？就是国外的保育经验大概是怎么样？
你是针对他们的数量，还是你说的这个只有100只这么小的族群，然后只是海豚，然后相对就是跟那个人类的问题比起来，就是为什么要照顾他们不照顾？
对，然后国外的做法，对。
So, with there just being such a small population of dolphins left, and as legislator Tian mentioned, people might say, people can't even fill their stomachs, let alone save some dolphins. What's your experience from abroad dealing with this issue?
Well, Taiwan is not alone in having endangered marine mammal populations. Marine mammals are vulnerable because often they're long-lived animals. They take a long time to reproduce and have babies. They grow slowly, and they have very large habitat needs. So marine mammals around the world are often suffering because of human activities. They certainly did in the past, and they certainly continue to do so today. With small cetaceans, or dolphins and porpoises, such as the eastern Taiwan Strait Susa, these animals are very vulnerable, often because they get entangled in fishing nets. They live near humans, near industry. They live in shallow waters. They're often very noisy. So Susa, like other cetaceans around the world, are under pressure from human activities. The special case in Taiwan, though, right now, is that this very special, isolated population has been declared critically endangered by the international conservation community, the IUCN. And what this means is the international scientific and conservation community has placed Taiwan on the map. And the international scientific community is watching very closely and is very, very concerned about a very small population of dolphins. How does one value a population of dolphins from a social or an economic or a human perspective? That's a very difficult question. My personal perspective is that a healthy Susa population means a healthy ocean. And if there is only a very small population remaining, that to me is a warning about the state of the coastal food web or the fisheries resources. So Susa in Taiwan is telling us, watch out, there's only a few of us left, which means that your fisheries may not be sustainable, or pollution is too high, or habitat destruction is affecting us. And all of that means that fish and shellfish, like oysters, may be in peril as well. They may face a difficult future. They may be declining right now. So to me, the most important thing that a very small endangered marine mammal population like Susa is telling us, it's saying, watch out, the state of the ocean is in trouble, and this has negative implications for a lot of economic sectors.
对，所以其实就是说，我很好奇的是，就是说，比如说像加拿大政府，
我们现在在
他们没关系，他是对，没关系。就是说加拿大政府，比如说最具体的加拿大政府，就是对待像这样的那个，他们会怎么样处理？相对于台湾的政府对待，就是至少我看到就是这个台湾政府基本上不太 care， 然后基本上那个发展工业发展的那个思维是非常非常强大的，就是那个对比，可不可以谈一下加拿大的做法？
所以就是怎么看待
加拿大不发展工业吗？还是对。
Okay, so it's asking for comparison between what might happen in Canada compared to here and the attitude of the government towards this kind of issue. Whether coming across an issue like this, whether there would be a decision to stop development or modify development in some way.
In Canada, we have similar experiences with small endangered marine mammal populations, and we have legislation called the Species at Risk Act, which requires our government to work with industrial and non-governmental organization partners in order to protect the animal. And part of that legislation, the most significant enforcement part of that legislation, is defining and protecting critical habitat or important habitat for the animal in question. So we in Canada are committed from a legal perspective to protecting endangered species. If the government of Canada fails to protect a certain population or allows development to go ahead in critical habitat, there would be lawsuits. In other words, non-governmental organizations or the public could sue the government for failing to act. I think regardless of the legislation that is in place, there are ways to protect Susa. There are laws in place, there are industries that are active, there are conservation groups and academic groups that are interested and concerned. And it's really up to all levels at this point, all levels of government and public and industry, right down to the school children in Taichung that can learn about Susa and be proud of having a healthy Susa population. And it's up to the farmers that live along the streams to protect those streams that feed into the ocean. It's up to many, many different levels of government. It's not the national government that's going to save Susa. It's not industry that's going to save Susa. It's going to be multiple levels of Taiwanese society. And that's my experience in Canada. The most effective way to save an endangered species is not necessarily or not only to design good legislation, but it's to enforce it and it's to work with all these different sectors. Because each different sector, profit, non-profit, academic, government, they all have different mandates, different perspectives, and they all have something to offer. Each of those different sectors can help solve the incredible challenge that Taiwan faces in protecting Susa.